Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of Battle Chronicles. My name is Balesa. I am an international teacher currently based in South Africa teaching ESL, but I teach other things but that's not what this is about today. Today, we are talking virtual international teaching fairs, but before we get there, thank you so much to all the returning subscribers. If you're new, welcome to Body Chronicles. Please grab your pen and paper recording if you are a lazy queen like me, yet you still want all the golden nuggets. Like how we always do, guys, this is a community. I'm not alone. I'm here with another, black excellence, I'm here with another queen. And if you know that she's been in these streets before, but she will introduce herself for the purposes of those that I knew, and hope you enjoyed today's conversation.
Hi everyone, my name is Janet. I have a YouTube channel called Diaspora Doodles where I try to corral more people who look like me into the teaching profession.
Yeah.
I talk about my experience of working across 9 countries, across 6 continents as a teacher, inspiring children who look like me so that when they see me, they can then be inspired to be like me or better, preferably better. um, and thank you for having me on your channel today.
Thank you so much for being here. It's always an absolute pleasure and absolute honor because, like I said, as soon as we have conversations, I just leave out of them so revived, so energized, so full of hope. Because, guys, yeah, sometimes these streets are very cold, like the European and the Asian weather at the moment. Yeah, but let's get straight into it, guys. Like I said, today we're speaking virtual job fairs, specifically directed for international schools, and we're just going to be giving you guys the juice around what they are, what do we expect out of them as the people that are, looking for job placements, and what do the employers expect out of them, and really everything in between, because I think because it's hiring season
Yes.
for everybody that is looking to start into this amazing train of international teaching. It's hiring season, and please fix your things, fix your CV, fix your professional summary in your CV, please fix your introduction videos, fix your CPDs, guys. Everything is in both our channels. If you go to Diaspora Doodles channel, guys, everything I'm talking about is a whole series. Okay, you're not going to be bored. Please give it your all and really take time into breaking it down and understanding what it is, because it's those little golden nuggets that shows and separates the person who's prepared and the person who hasn't. So we're just starting with the first question, just to get the conversation rolling. What are virtual job fairs, and how different are they from traditional job fairs, in-person job fairs?
So I like to call virtual job fairs the speed
Mhm.
dating of the international teaching world, where you get to meet lots of school heads and school reps. They come in,
Mhm.
they have this, like, it's like a little event where they all come together and they hire at
Mhm.
the same time. They invite prospective teachers to come in at the same time. So it's like a party, everyone's mingling, everyone's networking, and yeah, you meet them. The only thing is that if you're doing it virtually, you're not doing it you're doing it simultaneously with everyone, but you're doing it through your device. So you'll still meet heads of schools. You'll be in a queue and you'll see when they come on and when they leave and when the next person comes. Just think about speed dating. One person comes in front of you, like, it's almost like, should I say, Tinder, where you swipe left or you swipe right. So yeah, but it's teaching, it's professional, it's very well
Mhm.
put together, and you have to go there ready to impress.
Yeah, and I mean, you jumping straight to my second question. What does one need to do to really properly? I've kind of alluded to it, but what does one need to do to properly prepare themselves for this virtual job fair?
Research, research,
Mm,
research.
thank
First
you.
thing, for me, the
Mm,
first thing, look, if you've been invited to a virtual job fair, it's because they
mm,
like you. They
mm,
like you already. They just want to see if is this person the kind of person who can work at my school, or
mm,
no, thank you. But yeah, so the same thing with you. You are there to either swipe right or swipe left.
okay,
So
left.
the best thing to do is to prepare. If you're going on a date,
Mm,
not go in there blind. You would actually, if you're like me, you Google the person, see if you can
yes.
find the person's social media platforms.
Yes.
Same for the school. If you can find their website, do that.
Mm,
You will already have an idea of the schools you want because you'll be given
mm,
a list anyway. So you would say, oh, I don't
definitely.
want that. I'm going to make sure I put my best foot forward for this school. And for this school, I
Mm,
just want to see what it's like, test the waters, that sort of thing. So
mm,
research
mm,
is a big thing that you have to do.
mm,
Second
mm.
thing, prepare your pitch. You know that thing that people call the elevator pitch?
Yes.
Where you have to sell yourself. It's sort of like what we've just done now when we introduced ourselves. My name is
Mm,
Janet. I'm an international school teacher. I have this, so that in 30 seconds you can capture the person's attention
mm,
and sort of make the person fall in love with you already.
mm. And I mean, I think to add on that, also, guys, as much as it's a virtual situation, please still dress, professionally. You
Yes.
are in an interview setting, I think um they do mention it in the email when they send that please look well put and dress
Yes.
professionally, but I think a lot of us would sometimes do what everybody or a lot of people did in COVID times where you literally are on some I'm at home, there's no need for me to make an
No!
effort, but there is, guys. And I think for us, one of the things I always used to tell my students back in South Africa is that, guys, if you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you do good. You know what I mean? Like if you've got that little nude lipstick and, a little bit of tint, a little bit of makeup, your hair is on fleek. When somebody's asking you, who are you? Then it's easy for me to say, I'm Ballet, I'm an international teacher.
Yeah.
The confidence is also boosted by the fact that I put in so much effort with regards to how I'm going to present myself from an outward perspective. But that's also what research does as well, and this is what Janet speaks about, and I think it also assisted me. When you research the school, you also to a certain extent start projecting the questions they might ask you, based on the fact that you've already went. So when I spoke to Jen and I'm like, oh my gosh, first virtual, fair. What to do? What to do? And I was panicking. First thing, girl is like, calm down. You've got this, Prepare your pitch. Definitely your 30-second pitch is something. Who are you? Where are you now? Where do you come from? How are you going to contribute towards our school and what are you bringing? 30 seconds, as simple as that. But then I had papers. Each school, I wrote key things that I liked about the schools, and then I wrote key things that I got a bit confused about them, or key things that I still had questions regarding the day to day, And
Yes.
then after that, I had three general questions for all the schools,
Yes.
and then I had specific questions, especially for the school you want to put yourself out there for, And I think that assisted so much because it's so fast paced. I don't, I
It's
think
like,
I think you never get time to breathe.
no, no.
You never get time to breathe until you do, when all the other schools that you've then now spoken to, you're done with, but then there's still schools that have a long list. Because
Yes.
remember, guys, the one advantage and disadvantage about job fairs is it opens up the window for a whole lot more people, So
Yes.
for in-person job fair, if we could have easily had 50 people attend because of
Yes.
time, place, preparation, transportation, all those financial things, and I mean logistical things that would have hindered other people to come in a
Exactly.
virtual space. 200 of us are going to be able to make it, 300 of us are going to be able to make it. So it opens up the window for you to be part of something great, but it
Yeah.
also opens up the window for 100 more of you to do the same thing. So
Yes.
it's very important for you to find these little ways to actually what's the word, you always love using this word, shine, to always
Yes.
be
Stand
rememberable,
out.
to always be rememberable. My one thing when coming to the international space, and I think it caught me off guard a little bit. So when I applied to the agency, I tell them I'm this teacher and that teacher, right? And because you in rehearsal, because remember, like I as a drama teacher always say the drama space is a rehearsal for reality. But I
Yes.
think the virtual space as well, like the job fair is a rehearsal, for
Yes.
where you're going. And
Yes.
I told them I want to teach this and this and that. But then some of the schools then say to you, we see your CV. Can you teach this or that? Or what would you like to teach outside of the two things here? Because we don't offer that. So an example would be I applied for, dramatic arts,
Yes.
history, and business studies. But then a school then asks me, but because of your background, what else do you think you can teach? We can see your CV and we think you can teach a whole lot more other subjects,
Yes.
but what else would you be comfortable in teaching? How does one throw themselves out there in the best possible way without shooting themselves in the foot, specifically because they wouldn't have necessarily expected that question, but also they wouldn't have necessarily had a time to really think about it, because I know it caught me off guard.
Yes. So you know that thing where they say you fake it until you can make it.
Mm,
You know what?
mm,
And you're thinking on your feet. So you
mm,
would first start with thank you very much, and you talk about what you already have. So that way you're
mm.
sort of you're not
Buying
deflecting,
time.
you're buying yourself time. You talk about, oh, I have this, and I'm happy that you've
Mm,
seen this on my CV and that on my CV. Now, I haven't taught that. I mean, if you haven't taught that subject before,
mm.
I'll be very honest. I'll be very upfront, because what's the
Yes.
point? It's like being in a relationship, because you're going to be in a
Mm,
relationship with the school. You don't
yes.
want to fake it that, oh, I can cook this and I can cook that, when you don't cook.
You really can't, girl. Girl, you can't cook.
But I think it's best to just let them know I'm able
Mm,
to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have skills in that area. However, with that new thing you want me to do, with the right
mm.
support, so you're throwing it back to them. With the right
Yes.
support from you,
Mm,
I'm sure someone with my skills will be able to pick that up,
mm,
and then you could just slide it in. So, what kind of support would you provide,
mm.
knowing that this is my background and you want me to do that?
To do
If you
that.
don't get that school, it's fine.
Yeah.
Gone to the virtual fair, you've experienced what an interview is like. Let them move on, and
Mm.
let the school that you can cope with come to you. It's nice to push yourself, but not to the point where you'll be signing
You're
yourself
gonna break.
something that you can't do.
Mm,
No.
mm.
I would
And I think
advise anyone to do that.
exactly. I think for me, it was also that strategy to say I also became very upfront, that no, I don't have this type of experience that you're looking for. But after having seen my track record, especially in my academic journey, you can see that I am a lifelong learner. There's a proven
Yes.
track record of that, meaning that as soon as I get the ball rolling, I am more than willing. I'm actually excited and looking forward to actually learning the skills, through
Yes.
CPDs, through
Yeah.
a mentorship from the school. Are these the things that the school can offer me,
Yes.
because I
Yes.
am a new incoming teacher? And I think I am more than open to it, because that's exactly what I'm looking forward to. and
Yes.
and that conversation went so well, because the the representative was very honest and forthcoming, and they were like, yeah, we really like this and that, but at the moment the problem is we're really needing people. And I remember we also had this conversation, and you had it on one of your live sessions as well, where the school was like, but we need somebody, on the ball, we need somebody who knows what they're already doing, because we don't
Yeah.
have time, girl,
Yeah.
and I
No, no.
also appreciate that you gave me the time of day. You were really forthcoming with me, and I was forthcoming with you. And again, it assisted with the next conversation that I have. It boosted the conversation with the next conversation. But
Yeah.
now the question is, how does then one um what is it, how do I close in is not the right word, but if you have now 5, 10 offers, right? Well, I'm being extra, but if you have more than one offer, and you
Yeah.
really really loving all these 5 schools, let's say 5, because it's a job fair, and the more you prepare, the more chances you have, and you have
Yes.
these 5 schools. Now, how can one, especially a person who's just an incoming international teacher, and they haven't been in these streets before, how can I then sit down with these offers and ensure that I choose the best offer, not only for me, if I'm not going to be living alone, but for my family, what
Yes.
are those little things you would advise this person in this situation to look for, or to look at, or consider?
Well, that's a good question. Uh, so if you've got 5 offers, like you say, for an example, I would look at support. That's the first thing, because you're
Yes.
going to be diving into the unknown here. You're going to a totally different country where there's no
Mm,
family support, there's no friends there. You're going to
mm,
be alone, so you need the school to provide the support. Some people will say money, that yeah, money is good, but I always look for support first. How
mm,
are they supporting me? Are they providing accommodation? Are they providing CPDs? Are they
mm,
providing a mentor? So
mm,
all these things will come. Is there a liaison officer who would walk me through the process of getting there in the first place? When I look at
mm.
all that, then for me that's a yes. If I have three
Yes.
yeses and I've eliminated 2 schools because I can't find the level of support that I want,
Mm,
then with
mm.
those 3 schools, I now look at the cost of living in that country.
Girl.
Is it going to be a place where I'm making 60,000 euros, but I'm saving only two euros at the end of the month? It looks good
Mm,
on paper that I'm earning a lot of money, but what's the saving potential in that country? Is it going to be
mm,
a country that will be encroaching on my human rights? Because some
mm,
people work in countries where it's fantastic on paper, but they can't, they're restricted in their movement, they're restricted
mm,
in their utterances, they're
mm,
restricted in their thinking. Yeah, because even though the school will provide as much support as possible, you still have to be comfortable where you're
in
going.
the
So
community.
I would look for that as well. If you have
Mm,
children, is it a good country where you can, do they have good child laws there? Do they have, for example, I'll give you a good example. So I got
mm,
that job in Norway where the money was really good. The saving potential wasn't as high as if I had gone to another country, maybe like in the Middle East or Southeast Asia. But
mm,
the laws for children and families was just overwhelming. I was blown away.
mm,
The school gave me a lot of support. I couldn't save as much as I wanted to, but it just balanced it out because there were so many
mm,
other things. The work-life balance was great. So for me, it was a win-win that way. I'm not going to go
mm,
there and burn myself out. I'm going to go there. I
mm,
won't save as much, but I'll be comfortable and I'll be happy. So that was what I
mm,
looked at as well. Another thing to look at would be the contract. If they've given you offers, does it come with a contract or is it just an offer with no contract? I would not take a school that will offer me an offer letter without giving me a contract. It's a no for me.
mm,
How many hours do you want me to work? How many
mm.
how many days of leave do I get?
Do I
What if I
have?
get pregnant? Do I have maternity leave? What is the maternity leave like? Do I have extra duties, extracurricular activities? Most
Yes.
international schools will want you to do some sort of extracurricular activity with the children. One, because it will help you bond with the children. Two, because it will help
Mm.
you bond with the teachers. Because if you work in your department, you're working with people of similar subjects as you.
Mm.
But if you work on an extracurricular activity, you might be working, I might be a maths teacher on the same team as a sociology teacher who I would not necessarily meet at all on any level.
During the school day, yeah.
But being on that extracurricular team together
Mm.
puts me in contact with people that,
Mm.
will benefit me in the long run, who I will not necessarily meet. So those are the kind. So, but there has to be a balance. Do I have to do
Mm.
extracurricular activities for hours and hours? Do I have to do it every day? Is it just a once a week thing? Is it a once
Mm.
in a fortnight thing? Is it once a month kind of thing? There has to be a balance. And those are the things that I would look at the end of the day.
Mm.
Some people would look at the access to home, access to their embassies, access to airports, so that you know is it that you, when you want to go home, you have to think and calculate and take 4 flights to get home, or
Mm.
is it easy for me to just go home from where I am and
Yeah.
yeah, fly directly from the city? So many things to think about, and then your personal values as well.
Yeah.
Is the school good, in a good place, but then the personal values does not agree with you? Mm, that sort of thing. So yeah.
You're not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been so much. There's been so much. But now we here, and now I've broken it down, and now I have my two favorites. So I have my one favorite. There's still those four that are remaining. What do I say to them? Because they still gave me offers.
Hmm. Breaking someone's heart is very hard as a teacher, because the international the international school community, the international school scene is very, very, very insular. It's really small. You would find
That's
out
so
that
scary.
because people move around a lot. I mean, I worked in Venezuela, and then I found out that the head of school at my school in Venezuela was friends with someone who I now work with in Spain.
Mm.
And that person who I now work with in Spain used to work at a school in Norway, not my school, in Norway. So you see, it, it's a very small world when it comes to
Yeah.
international school settings. So you don't want to step on people's feet as you
Oh.
move
Mm.
along. I would write a really professional letter that,
Mm.
hello, and just thank you very much for the offer. Thank you very much for the opportunity to join your team, and because of course during the interview you were very eager. You showed them how eager you were.
Yes,
That's why
yes.
they offered you the job. So now
The
you're going to
job.
tell them, thank you very much for the offer. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and sort of big them up. I really like your school and blah 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 blah. However, you know what they
Mm.
say, anything that comes before that comes after, however, it's not going to be it's not going to be comfortable. But you have to do it. You have to tell
Mm.
them that you're not going to be joining them as they
Yeah.
thought, so that they can hire someone else, because there's no point
Mm.
stringing them along. You
Yes.
don't know where you'll meet someone from that school again, and that kind of thing.
Mm.
So yeah, you'll tell them, however, due to my, I wouldn't say lie to them, but make it as professional as possible.
It's possible.
Yes, due to my current abilities and skills, I will be moving to a school that better suits my needs, my
Mm.
professional needs, my professional growth, blah,
Mm.
blah, 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 that sort of thing. So, yeah,
Mm.
um, yeah, that's how I would put it. Because also, because I've been to so many countries and so many schools, had
Mm.
a situation like that happen to me in the past where, yeah, I applied to two schools. They were sister schools, different continents, but sister schools. And because I wasn't sure about the visa process. I wasn't sure with my Nigerian passport if I was going to be successful. So I sort
Mm.
of stringing them along. And yeah, then they contacted me that you're saying yes to our sister school, and yeah, and you're saying yes to us. Choose which one you want to go to. And I never did it again. I thought, that was the time I realized it's a very, very small community. It might cover the whole globe, but it's very small. So yeah.
And that feels so scary because I mean I'm sitting here and I'm just like, guys, just to get to South Africa from here it takes me 2 days, right? From South Korea. But the idea that somebody in South Korea can know somebody in Spain, can know
Yes.
somebody in an international school in South Africa, can know somebody in an
Yes.
international school in Nigeria is really scary. And sometimes I think the hard part about um not being able to be professional or not being able to be forthcoming and in like when it needs to, you'd find that on that one specific year you said no to this person in a rude manner and stuff that stuck to them to a point where somewhere somehow you guys will meet again and you'll still need that person, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of us as a humanity have forgotten the value or the saying of hands. Hands really help each other and wash each other. And sometimes you might be the upper hand right now, but
Yes.
never ever make the lower hand feel like this will always be the case because
Yes.
things can turn around so quickly. And
Yeah.
it is so crazy how that is true. But now, here's another question that was very interesting for me. How do you answer why the school or why the country, especially as somebody who's at the moment been talking to 20 schools in all these six continents, and you sitting there and you focusing on, do I have all these CPTs that they want? Do I qualify? Do I have IB experience? How many years have I taught? And now the question, girl, why are you choosing this country? Not even school. Not even school.
Yes.
Country. What
Yes.
do I say then?
Who that is one that digs deep. And they want to see how
Mm.
invested. They want to see how invested you are. Do you just want a
Goodness.
paycheck? Or do you just want to come on a jolly? Some teachers go on a jolly. You'll be surprised. The international school setting is
Yeah.
such a funny one. Some teachers go there because they always wanted to go to that country or continent,
Country.
and they don't. You know how international schools will pay for your flights and everything.
Mm.
And then when
Mm.
they get there, after a month or two there, they're like, okay, holiday over, they're gone, and they break their
Mm.
contracts and they disappear. So that's why schools want to know, why do you want to come here? If you don't have a
Mm.
good answer for why you want to come here, like a really good but professional answer that will benefit you and the school, mm, so that's
Mm.
something that you should work on. Just like your 30-minute pitch, you have to think about, I see, so you can say, this goes back to the research you've done on the school. I love
Mm.
this school because it has one, two, three, four, five attributes that has drawn me to it, that has attracted me. I love the country because, I think someone asked me this question when I went to Oman. Why Oman? Because Oman is
Mm.
not the first country that will come to mind when people think of Dubai, Abu Dhabi. They don't think of Oman. Now, I said to them, I grew up in northern Nigeria, and I like the feeling of the community spirit that people have in
Mm.
northern Nigeria because of the religion, because of the culture. For me, coming to Oman would help me, you know, give me
Pick
that
that
again,
right. Yeah.
and it'll help me practice my Arabic, and so that I could become a better person for my Arabic students, both in the classroom and in the wider school community.
Mm.
And
Mm.
the guy smiled. Is there anything else? And then I said, yes, and I will also be bringing my knowledge to, because I
Mm.
think he was trying to nudge me to, okay, you've talked about yourself, you've not talked about how we will benefit from you coming to us. Why
Mm.
us? I mean, if you finish learning Arabic, like you say, you could just disappear.
Leave.
So I
Yeah.
had to make sure I closed that argument by talking
360.
about
Yeah.
how it will benefit them as well. Yeah.
And I think, there is this saying now, it used to happen a lot with the recruiters in South Korea, where they'd be telling people, please, please, please don't go into how much you like K-pop and K-drama and all of that, because it's exactly what you're talking about, where I'm so obsessed with K-pop and K-drama, and I feel like, no, let me go teach English, as a second language, or let me go teach whatever subject if I ever qualify teacher in the international space, just so that I can go vibe, and groove. And you'd find that for 5 days of the week, 4 days, because Friday is when the weekend starts. For 4 days, you're so miserable in the classroom. You're not a
Yes.
good colleague.
No,
You're not nice to work with. And I think my biggest like pet peeve, or something I really don't like about this, is that as a person, you are selfish. We're all selfish beings. But the
yes.
problem about these spaces is whatever you do, you did not sign up for it. But whether you like it or not, you are a representation of all of us, right? You are a
Yes.
branding of whatever country you come
Yes.
from. And for people
Yeah.
that look like us, things are already tight. Things are already so hectic. The fact that you are considered, or the fact that you're taken, needs to put even that much more pressure on you,
Yes.
because they are looking for anything and everything to discredit you and to pat
Exactly.
themselves at the back and say, this is why we didn't want you in the first place. And I think people
Say
don't
it. Say
understand
it.
that. Like, I'm so tired of people not understanding, because when I have these conversations in my circles, then everybody would tell me that no, but I didn't sign up to be the spokesperson of South Africans. That's not the point. You know what
Uh,
I mean?
you're an
You
ambassador
get
everywhere
responses
you
like that.
go.
You get responses like that where somebody's like, listen, I'm here for me and nobody else. But it's like you are not understanding that the choice you make now, because of the circumstance that you're in, is not just affecting you. And the unfortunate trickle down effect is that
Yeah.
somebody else out there is going to need this so much more than you, and this could assist them in so many levels and in so many ways. And the fact that you ruined it, because now you have a lot more schools saying, we don't want South Africans that look like
Yes.
this, because you guys are not here for the work. You guys are
Yes.
here for the party. You guys are here for the K-pop. You guys are here to marry the other, if
Yes.
we extend it to that. And it becomes so sad for some of us that really see this as a stepping stone to get us to where we are, because whether we like it or not, at some level or the other, each place is there for a time. You're
Yes.
not supposed to be there forever, unless if you
No.
want to. But as somebody who wants to explore the world, you still have so many places to be at. But make sure that you bring forth the best foot, so that when you leave, people still remember that this is the type of person I want to hire from
Yeah.
this type of country, because of this person that just left us.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
It's sad. It's sad that we don't think about the things that we do. But I think for me, with that question as well, one of the other things I found interesting, especially as a culturally aware and very diverse person, you can
Yeah.
almost always answer it the same way, right? If you look at the fact that you need to have cultural awareness, you need to be adaptable, you
Yes.
need to really, really be a reflective and conscious person who understands what you're going to bring to the table and who understands what you need to receive from the table, so that this relationship can be fair. Then,
Yes.
whether it's Asia, whether it's the Middle East, whether it's Europe, as long as you bring forth that, obviously, the safeguarding as well, and
Yeah.
your love and your passion. Like, there's some people that I know, we very dramatic beings and stuff, and I think more often than not, a lot of people still don't get when I say, guys, really, I'm such an introvert and I'm such a shy person, because every time I speak, it's like, you know what, let's do this.
Yeah.
But it comes with practice, and it's almost always that passion that takes over when I speak about things I love the most. And there's some people, you'd be such an amazing teacher, but every time you speak, you're just like this, and you're like, yes, I've got a PGCE and QTS, and you're slouching, and it's like, but this representation. And then you do interview upon interview upon interview, and you still wonder. You've got a great CV. You've got all the CPDs, you've got your professional summary on paper, you've
But
got
no
every
personality.
personality is just like, listen,
Mm,
listen. You're not showing me any passion. And passion does not need to be loud. Some of us are just
no.
loud people, but be demure, but still show me your passion. Like have a bit of life, you know? Like and people are also missing about it. And I think that's one thing the virtual job fair also needs you to be. Like,
Yes.
bring your passion. Let that person love listening to you for this 5 minutes that they're listening to you. And
Yes.
the next five people after you have a very hard time. They're not
Very.
gonna know it. They're not gonna know it because the representative is not gonna tell them, but you should know it. You should know that you know what? I feel sorry for whoever follows me.
Yes, because you were
Because
vibing.
I ate it, I left no crumbs, you know. And you know when you did well. The
Yes.
same as when you did horribly, you just know it.
No. Yes. Yes. Then I have a question for you. Yeah.
Yes.
So the first question is, um, what was your feeling after your first? Because I realized that when I go to virtual job fairs, the first one, I'm practically a mess. But after that one, and you sort of pick up you pick things up when you
Mm,
find, oh, it's not as hard as I thought. Okay, okay.
mm,
But what
mm.
was your feeling after the first one going into the second one?
So I think for me, I was fortunate in that that first one I got was the one I wanted. So that is the one I had prepared for the most in
Right,
my list, right?
right,
So
right.
I had a list of like 10, 15 schools, and that particular school was a performing arts school. They did IB. They were looking for, they were looking for like a newly entry level teacher.
Oh
And
wow.
love diversity and they like conscious with the LGBT, like everything I live for, they were that person. So when we got when I because with the virtual job fairs, you just give your interest to everybody and you wait, and then
Yes.
just for that one person, and
Yeah.
then the first person that responded, and I was just waiting there, and then I didn't realize that we first start with the typing before they invite you. So now I'm just waiting, and then I see hello, hi Palesa. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's happening now? What's happening now? And I'm like, hello, yes, my nerves were there with the typing, but as soon as they were like, can I invite you, for a conversation through video, I was like, yes. And I was so lucky because the person on the other end was really, it was like I was having a conversation with a friend. Literally, I was so hyped up. And they were like, we see this. What do you have to offer? And I'm like, this is what I have to offer. What do you guys have to offer? And they're like, this is what we're offering. What do you think you can do about this? And it was so nice. You see this
Oh
conversation in real
yes.
life? Literally. And then we had network problems, and they were like, okay, I think it's me. And I'm like, most probably because, like, Asia and technology, we got the star, and then we were doing a bit of banter there, and the guy is laughing and like coughing. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, are you coming down with the flu? He's like, oh
Wow.
my gosh, it's like a bit nippy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, take care of yourself, you must look for lemon and ginger. And this is me, literally. I promise you that interview went really well. Like
Oh,
I
nice.
and I think, like you said, there's so many things about the school that I did not agree with, like the pay and how far it was, because one of the things I'm struggling with right now is the time difference with my family,
Yes.
and like with you guys as well, my mentors and my friends. It's so hard to keep in touch with you guys because we
Yes.
literally so many hours away. So when
Yeah.
I thought about that school, because it's in North America, the fact that they're even more further than here, and other things as well, and I was just like, you guys have everything except the most important thing for me at the moment. and
Yeah.
and that is one thing that is making me really sad, because as much as there could be development for me, I also need to look at my partner, and I need to look at my kids.
Yeah.
Like, how does that then affect them, because we're living together? And those questions weren't answered to my satisfactory. It was just, I think for them, they were so focused on me that
Oh,
everything on me was on par. But then when I
Oh,
now started throwing curveballs with, yeah, also they're the kids, also there's the partner, also, and then they're just like, oh my gosh, girl, where's all of this coming from? But that's the thing about coming as a package, and
yes,
intentionally so. You
yes,
have to not be selfish, because these spaces also need you to have an extreme strong support system. So
yes,
if it's just going to be about me, 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 then I'm not gonna, go very far.
yes.
The whole nice saying about, if you want to go like very far, don't go alone. But if you want to
No,
get there, just, yeah. So that was that. My first interview for me was absolutely amazing. And you know what happened?
tell me.
When I started getting the, I'm sorry, you don't have enough experience. Oh, you've only just been teaching for 3 years. Oh, you don't have IB. We're sorry, we're looking for IB. We're sorry. Then the story started happening. And after each time, I'm like, I completely understand. Literally with the grin in my mouth, like in my face, right? Because it's like, the right people will find me. My
Yes,
people will, even though it's not going to be that school that I just had an amazing conversation with based on certain
yes,
things. The fact that that was like possible, the fact that that happened has
yes,
shown me two things on two levels, right? On the first level, it's shown me that research really works. It's shown me
yes.
that research actually boosts your confidence. It's
Oh, yeah,
shown me that if you're prepared and you know what you ask, even when they ask you questions you didn't prepare for, with the preparation that you had, you're going to be able to, work with it, right?
yes,
And but it's also then given me this idea, as much as I'm not going to be able to say yes to all of you guys, you all can't say yes to me, so why should I expect it? And
yes,
I left out of like that virtual fair. I remember when we were talking in our group, right? I was
yes,
I was so hyped up, and I kept saying,
yes.
guys, do this, do that, do that. And then I sat there and I'm like, yo, people are even gonna think I've got a million job offers where I haven't even gotten one. But that's not the point.
No, no, it's the high, the confidence boost because you
Mhm.
know I am marketable. There are people out there who like me. I just need to put myself out there and they will find me and I will find them and we will all vibe together, you know?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was my first one, and I think it was crazy. It was crazy. How does, especially because you're also an ICT specialist,
yes.
how prepared or how knowledgeable should one be with regards to ICT equipment and technologies? Should one be to, do the things that they need to do in these virtual fair spaces?
Um, I would always say that technology will only work for you when it works.
Such a good thing.
So be prepared, familiarize yourself with, so they will already tell you if it's Zoom, if it's Google, if it's,
They
they'll
do.
tell you the platform.
Mm.
Honestly, what I do, I first hop on a CPD course quickly, or I
Mm.
go on there and I try to maybe get a friend to, let's video call each other, let's touch this, what's happening. I remember the first time on my StreamYard. So I work, I work with uh two other ladies, apart from
Yes.
yourself,
Yes.
Oyi and Omomi. And I
And
remember
Omo.
our first live stream, it was the teacher in us just came out quickly. We're like, hop on, we'll do a live stream with ourselves. It'll be
Yes.
unlisted, so nobody can see what we're doing. But we
Mm.
touched so many things on StreamYard that day. And he said, oh, what if I do this? What if I do this? So that's the same thing that you should do when you're going for a
Mm.
virtual interview. Get on there before the interview date so that
Mm.
you are familiar with the
Yes.
technology that you're going to be using. It's not
Mm.
hard. It just becomes hard when you don't know what you're going to do.
Yes.
So if you play around with it before the day. On that day, it'll be like child's play to you. And
Mm.
be ready for things to happen.
Yeah.
Murphy's law says if anything could go wrong, it will go wrong. So as much as as much as you prepare yourself, be prepared for things to just not happen on the day. Like I
Mm.
said, Technology works when it works. You could have a
Mm.
power cut. If you have a power cut, be ready with some sort of so if you have a power cut and the Wi-Fi goes off, be ready with your mobile phone with data so that
Okay.
you can jump on that and just explain yourself. Sorry, there was a glitch, but I'm on here. Don't lie. Don't try to cover it up. There was a power. They know you're not in charge of power.
Mm. Mm.
Show that you have a backup plan. Oh, you suddenly sell yourself to the person that this person is
Yeah.
aware of the deficiency.
Prepared.
You're
Mm.
prepared, and you have a backup plan. If, for instance, a child walks in, maybe if you my daughter used to walk in during my virtual interviews, and don't don't shout, go away, go away. No, because you're going out to work with children, and
Yes.
treat your child will
It's
represent
a
a
reflection.
reflection of who you are. My daughter would come in and she would say, "Who are you talking to?" I'll say, "Mommy's trying to get a job." Just calmly, "Mommy's trying to get a job. Do you want to do you want to wait for me 5 minutes and then I'll come over and sort you out?" Just gently, just
Mm.
incorporate it in, and then basically you're showing them, look, I'm really good at deflecting
Yes. Mm.
interruptions. I will get back to you, and just,
Mm.
speak really nicely to your child, calmly explain clear instructions. Your child goes away, you come back. If, for instance, your light, so if you're using, because it has to be a well lit room. So if you're
Mm.
using extra lights around your laptop or your phone or anything, and it falls off, maybe it wasn't hooked on properly,
Mm.
incorporate it in. Oh, sorry about that. My lights just come off. I'm just going to put it back. Just the confidence that you exude. It just,
Mm.
it's just smooth. You just, yeah, yeah. Those are things that I would say. It's just basically knowing how to use the software and being prepared for any eventualities that come up on the day, technological ones or personal ones, yeah, or environmental ones.
Oh, even time difference, guys. Oh my goodness. I'm just saying the one person blessings we were speaking about it in bits and pieces, but I think we're gonna also have a separate video just breaking it
Yeah.
down. One of the things I loved about the video you shared on Trevor Noah's video, that
Yes.
interview, the Diary of a CEO, he speaks about blessings and curses. And I'm
Yeah.
like, the with international teaching, there's so many blessings and curses that
Oh,
come
yes.
together. And and I remember the first one was on the Sunday, and my partner's like, babe, it's literally 9 o'clock in the evening, No, it wasn't even nine. It wasn't. It was really late, and he's like, you're gonna be doing this for the next 3 hours because that's how long the virtual pay is, and you need to wake up and work, go to work tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, exactly that. And that time, whoever is in it was Eastern time. That it was literally morning for them, and it made sense, because
Yeah.
we have kids up for everybody. So Sundays when people can't be able to make it and all of that, and I'm like, people, as much as we are in this, we also need to not romanticize it, right?
Yeah.
You need to know that certain things need to be sacrificed. On that particular Sunday, I needed to sacrifice 3 hours of my day that needed to then be sacrificed going into the Monday, because that fair finished at 2 a.m.
Yes.
But I was still there. I was present, and I was giving it my all in the
Yeah.
first hour as much as I tried to do it in the last 30 minutes, because
Yes.
consistency is also important, when you are honest with yourself, because obviously not all of these people are going to see you in the 3 hours at the same
Yeah.
time. But when
Yeah.
you know that I'm as energetic as I am in my first period as I will be in my last period, you also know the type of person that you are going to be in the classroom, because
Yes.
sometimes you're going to get observed in the last period and everybody's tired, including you. But now when
Yes.
that person observing you is in there, you can't be showing them that you're tired. You can't also be showing your kids that you're tired.
Mm.
And today it was so funny. One of my little ones says to me, "Teacher, are you are you tired? I'm like, I'm not tired. I'm sleepy. He's like, teacher, isn't sleepy tired? I'm like, no, it's not. No, sleepy is not tired. And for them, like I literally just made a joke out of it because I'm like, I need you to learn the difference, because I'm teaching you the English language. You need to know when
Yes.
sleepy is used. You need to know when tired is used. But in all honesty, I was both. I was both because you guys, you make me be both. Life is lifing, but I think even like the laughter and the joy that came out of that was just me also reminding myself, "Kgore, you always need to show up, and when you are showing up, show up in the best version of yourself because first impressions count.
It does. It does. Amazingly. It does.
Count. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have any more questions. I've asked you. I've asked you so many questions, and I think I'm sorted on my end.
So, one question that I would like to ask is, would you go to a school if they would mm, mm, not about the money this time. Would you go
Yeah.
to a school that is starting, a startup school?
Definitely, I'd love to.
That's
So
why.
for me, I think the beauty about the work that we do and the intentionality in it, being a lifelong learner is also part of, in this situation, my learning is gonna be me starting a project from start. So if I go to the school and I'm the first performing art teacher, I'm gonna be starting the first theater programs. I'm going to be starting the first poetry program. So I see opportunity in that startup school that is going to ensure that nobody's going to be in my ear saying, but this is not how the previous teacher used to do it.
Yes.
This is not how the community knows. Your community does not know of this. I would, and I would advise anybody else too, because the one thing about startups, the support out of them is very amazing because they also know that this is a
Yeah.
foundation being laid, and foundations are the hardest thing to lay, right? So they're going to support you through and through. And number two, you are able to also lay a very great foundation that also shows your skills and your techniques. So, like I said, I'll be starting the first poetry. And even, with me, even in schools that have happened, the audacity that this girl has. In my internship year, the school has been there for years and years and years. It's a very old boys' school. I got
Yes.
there and I'm like, y'all don't have a poetry society. Why don't y'all have a poetry society? You know what? This girl is starting a poetry society. And my
Yes.
poetry society literally started with 4 kids. But I was so adamant. Like each week we would be there, we would meet, we would
Sure.
sit and with the 2 little ones, with the 3 little ones, and watch a poem, analyze it, dissect it. The next week, write about that poem, so write a response poem. And the way I would be giving so much effort, even my friends would be like, the way you're so committed, you'd swear you have like 50 boys. And I'm like, it's not about the quantity, it's always about the quality. Because I tell
Yes.
you now, those 2 boys and those 4 boys that I started with, like they have such a special place in my heart even now, and I probably have the same to them as well because those moments assisted in shaping what I know poetry does. And that's the whole point. When you're given the opportunity to start something from scratch, run with it because always wanting to get things already sorted for you also creates a level of laziness and like a level of lack of creativity. Because if
Yeah.
I find something there all the time, when do I get to be creative? When do I get to start?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely would.
Right. So the reason why I asked is because a lot of startup schools go to job fairs because they don't already have anything that they're going with or working with. A lot of people don't like to go to startup schools because when they go on the internet to search on reviews and past things that the school has done, they can't find anything and they just write
Mhm.
them off immediately. So
Mhm.
how would you then prepare for working at a startup school? when you go to a job fair, and you see that there's a start of school there.
At the start of school, I think for me, it's I'm gonna answer this the same way I would answer the question, how would you prepare going to a regional or a countryside? I
Yes.
think I need to know that I'm going to face more challenges than I would in a much more established school. So I
Yes.
would want to emotionally and mentally prepare myself. So whatever subject I'm going to be teaching out, I'd make sure that I have my own resources that already come with, right? Be it in
Yeah.
soft copy or little bits of resources in hard copy. And I think for me, maybe the advantage is also that because I'm a drama specialist, anything is a prop. You know what I mean? Like you can literally work with anything and everything. I was thinking about how in one of these questions I had, we'll talk about it properly when we're done with this. But
Yeah.
the question is, how would you work with the community? And one of the things I had in mind was, because you guys are in the regional area, you guys don't necessarily have an actual theater space, but I would
Mhm.
introduce site specific performances to my students and to the community, where on a random day we're just walking, next to the beach, and we start a performance just there
Yeah.
and there, a performance about social responsibility, a performance about friendships, a performance about traveling and tourism. But it's about being able to know firstly that I'm gonna face a bit more hardships than I would have, because there aren't things in places. I
Place.
don't know what the word is. There aren't, what's the word I'm looking for?
There's nothing set in place for
Yes,
you to work
yes.
with. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so there aren't procedures set in place that when we don't have stage and lighting, this is the person we go to. You need to
Yes.
know that you're gonna be the stage and lighting person. You need to
Yeah.
know, and I'm just making metaphors with my drama, but it's like holistic in any way. Even if I were to teach English, if there aren't any textbooks, I need to know which textbooks grade 12s or year 11 students are learning from
Yeah.
everywhere else, so that if I'm were to ever be asked what textbooks are they going to learn, I can't be, I don't know, you guys are the school. I need to be
Yeah.
like, these are the textbooks. So I think
Yes.
extra preparation over and above like normal preparation, because there aren't many procedures, but also go with the excitement that goes with that. Again, blessings and
Yes.
curses. The fact that there aren't any procedures means that you can think outside of the box, and
Yes.
that's what excites me. The fact that
Yeah.
I'll be like, this is gonna work because you've never done it before. How do you know? With procedures, you get to school that has been there for 200 years and say, can we do site specific? They're like, no, we want to
Oh,
be in the Pisidian theater. We want to
yes.
be in this theater because our old girls and old boys like, and I'm just like, oh my lord.
Yes. 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 And
Yeah.
uh, another thing is, a start of school was what propelled me into leadership, into my leadership journey.
Mhm.
Because at a start of school, like you said, there's no procedure set in place. You sort of wear two hats.
Mhm.
You're a teacher, and secondly, you're a manager, because
Yes.
you would be the founding personnel, you'll be the founding teacher probably for your subject, which makes
Mm.
you then get propelled into that the
Role.
managerial role. And
Mhm.
after that, you find that even though you've not worked in that role for a long time, you need to get CPDs to give you that power or that knowledge to do a good
Mhm.
job, because the next job you would go to would always refer to that role that you held,
Mhm.
where you would say, I was the head of the EYFS. Why were you the head of the EYFS? Because it was a founding school,
Mhm.
and that sort of thing. And you have to, I mean, you can drop down after that and become a normal teacher if you go to an already established school. But
Mhm.
I would try to, I would persuade people to take that role and move on to the
And
next role
run with
in
it,
a
yeah.
managerial role as well. You will get a
Mhm.
lot more pushbacks in the new school, especially if it's an established school, because they will say, "Oh, you were head of EYFS at that school, and now you've come to this school and you don't know one, two, three, four, five." Always go with that can-do attitude of, "I'm
Mhm.
the head of EYFS there. and I can still be the head of EYFS here, even though this is a more established school and they've got
Mm.
structures in place that you might not fit into because you were doing it more like, you
On
know,
your flexibly,
you,
yeah.
yes, you were doing it more, it was more flexible where you were
Mm.
because there was nobody like an overlord over you. But in this new school, just pull up your bootstraps and you can do it because we need more people in education who look like this, and we need
Mm.
more managers where change happens who look like this.
But
Yeah.
I think it's that's one of the other things. You know, somebody was like, it's not about who you know or who knows you, but it's about what the people that know you say about you in spaces you aren't there in, you know? So if there aren't enough of us in these spaces, then who's gonna say what about me because they don't know me? You know what I mean? Like they don't have anything to say. So like about me because they'll be having something else to say about other people. But I just for lack of being spicy. But I think we really do. It's so stressful and frustrating. This journey is a lot because we're still at a point where we're needing to work a million times harder.
Yes.
But I say this, and I think it's now going to be my motto. You know, nobody ever promised us easy, so why
Yeah,
do we expect it?
exactly. Oh, I've really enjoyed this today. I have. I
Thank
have.
you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Like me and Jay, when we got into this call, we were both like, "Oh my gosh, girl, how are you?" And we were
Yes.
so tired. But look at me, like I'm ready. I'm
Buzzing.
ready. I'm gonna be working after this, you know. But if you guys had seen us before we started and seen me, I was so exhausted. I was
Tired.
so over it. But I'm revived. I'm re-energized, you know energies, those queen that I was interviewing, she was talking about energies and emotions and oh guys, I can't okay, let me not spoil it. You guys will watch it, you'll watch it. But thank you so much. If you're still here, go apply in these job fairs.
Yes.
It gives you exposure, it gives you access to more people, it gives you the space to boost your confidence, it gives you the space to polish your 30-second pitch. It gives you space to do really a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do on a normal in person,
Yes.
job fair. And you can do as much as you can. There's so many guys. Go to Janet's YouTube channel. She spoke about agencies and websites that actually, do these job fairs. You can, hop on. There's Test, there's Scroll, there's Teachaway. Hop on and register and show the world how amazing you are. Black excellence is everywhere. Can we start being more visible? Can we please? It's about time. What are we waiting for?
I don't
What
know.
are we waiting for? Thank you so much, everybody. If you're still here, we appreciate you. Comment, tell us what you'd like us to talk about. Tell us what you're struggling with. If you are in these international streets, please engage with us. We'd like to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. Um, Enjoy the rest of your day further. And thank you. This wouldn't be possible without all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Janet. You're an absolute queen, man. You're an absolute queen.
And you.